Uh, Hello, thanks for joining me. Jarrell here. I'm the director of Sungrand, and I'm the developer behind Silver Falls. So if we haven't met before, nice to meet you. And if you just jumped into the Silver Falls game series, welcome, and thanks for joining in. We've had a lot of people come in after Undertakers and Frontier Fighters Mini launched in January. So thank you everyone for supporting those games. And if you're interested in trying and seeing what Silver Falls is like, go ahead and grab Frontier Fighters Mini from the silverfallsgame.com website. That game's free. You can play it on your computer if you have Homebrew, on your 3DS, your Vita, and I've also optimized it to make sure it works on Retroid Pocket 2 and the GBD XD and the XD Plus. So yeah, thanks for joining in, and if you're interested in checking out a really retro experience, go ahead and look for Undertakers for 3DS. It works on all models, and it is a blast from the past. It's a pretty genuine game in the style of an Atari 2600 game, and it has an arcade mode as well, so you can have a bit of action in that retro style. So yeah, thanks. And for everyone supporting 3 Down Stars, which we launched last year, that was our first Silver Falls game. Thank you very much for supporting the game and being so patient. We're working with Nintendo, and they are trying to expedite the update 1.5, which will fix crashing that occurs later in the story mode. So for everyone that's been dealing with it, I'm so sorry. I apologize. I'm a solo developer on that game, and working by myself, I just don't have the resources and the time to fight with the Unity engine. People have told me they've asked other Unity developers, and it's all very much the same story. It's an absolute nightmare working with Unity 3DS. It's not fully functional. There's so many issues with it. But that's the last time I'm going to talk about that, so we're going to say so long, see ya. We're not using Unity 3DS anymore because it's an absolute nightmare. We are still going to launch Guardians and Metal Exterminators, which did use Unity 3D, but by this point I'm so familiar with all of the issues of Unity 3DS development. I've been saying 3D, yeah. Unity 3DS development that I've designed Guardians and Metal Exterminators completely around how broken that engine is. So it actually avoids the issues of the engine entirely. You'll have to forgive me for looking so sweaty. I'm out taking a few hours out of the office today to do a bit of hiking, and I've ended up bush bashing, and I'm so oily and greasy I look like I'm out of the cast of West Side Story. So I'm just stopping here in the shade and enjoying the view a little bit, and I'll be heading back to the office soon to head back to work. So just to let you guys know what's coming up next in this Silver Falls series. My arm's getting kind of... There we go here. So I've been sharing a bit of photos and posted a bit of video last night of a bit of gameplay. And our first title that's coming to the Nintendo Switch is Silver Falls Episode Prelude. Now, I was trying to make Episode Watchtower to give people a taste of sort of an open world-ish game with large environments and exploration. Unfortunately, Unity for Switch also has some issues that are slowing down development, and I'm at the point where I really need to get a game launched on the Switch to be bringing in revenue to the studio. So Episode Prelude takes place in a smaller environment, so I can sort of bypass some of the issues that we're dealing with right now. Sorry about the shaky camera here. So Episode Prelude runs on the updated abstraction framework, which is what 3 Down Stars ran on. And you'll be able to see what gameplay and presentation will be like on the Switch moving forward. So with Episode Prelude, it's quite a bit of a short story. It stars Romanic Rodriguez, and it takes place the night before the story of 3 Down Stars. He's making a food delivery out into the desert, and things sort of go wrong. And there will be a battle mode, so this, again, the story mode in that is quite short, but if you enjoy the lore and the story of Silver Falls, then it'll be right up your alley. And the battle mode will be something that, it's not exactly Frontier Fighters mode, it's just more of a fun, casual action where waves of enemies come in, and as you defeat enemies, random treasures appear, and then you can get new weapons until eventually the enemies overwhelm you and try and see the best score you can get. So there'll be some, primarily the desert environment, but there'll be some other environments that you'll be able to check out as well. So moving forward, we're splitting the games that will be launching into tiers. And so the core games, there will be the core tier, the core series. And those will be the sort of the bigger games that have the substantial lore and the stories and the characters. And then we have these smaller support titles. And the smaller support titles are generally going to be free games that are smaller that I can use to develop in between the large games. And with those, that's sort of my way of saying thank you to the fans for supporting the series. The support titles will not be like required lore or anything like that. In general, they'll just be some fun extras and something fun and neat to sort of enjoy the series and to sort of hold you over until the next major Silver Falls release. So, for example, Frontier Fighters Mini would be considered a support title, whereas currently 3 Down Stars, Galaxy Bound Curse, and Undertakers are considered core titles. So I hope you look forward to those. I do have more support titles, which would be the free games, coming up later this year. I still don't want to talk too much about those until the time is right. So please look forward to episode Prelude, which I will be sharing more photos and videos with in the next day or two. So I'm working very hard, and I'm hoping to have that submitted to Nintendo. And with any luck, if the submission process all goes well, we might see episode Prelude on the Switch eShop sometime next month, so March. Anyway, that's all for today. After I get episode Prelude in, well, after I submit that, I'll be working on submitting Guardians of Metal Exterminators for the 3DS, and then polishing it up for the Switch port of that. And then there is a support title that I'll be working on. So Guardians of Metal Exterminators is a core title, and we're working on a support title that we'll be bringing to the Switch. And other consoles, which will be a surprise. So thanks very much for supporting Silver Falls. I know everyone's having a really tough time right now, everyone around the world, so I really appreciate you guys showing your support. Not just buying the game, but sharing the game, going on websites and reviewing, and telling other gamers about the games. I'm so appreciative of that. So thank you so much for all of your support. You know, shoot me a message on Twitter or Facebook and say hi, and yeah, just talk gaming, I suppose. So we'll see you guys again soon. Thank you very much for checking in, and I hope you look forward to episode Prelude, which will be hitting the Switch very soon. Cheers.